Okay, so this is the last page of our activity for Chapter 5. I pulled up the calculator so that I could show you how to do some of the more complicated stuff here. Question D on that uniform distribution question asks us for the probability that x is between 20 and 34. So we're looking at what is the likelihood that I have a student whose age is between 20 and 34. So I sketched the rectangle reasonably well, and we're looking for this shaded area. So the green shaded area is from 20 to 34. So to get the length of that rectangle, I just subtract those two numbers. And then the height of the rectangle is still 1/30th. So we made that decision on the previous page so that the whole rectangle has an area of 1. So 34 minus 20 is 14. So take 14 times 1 divided by 30, and you'll get 0.4666 repeating, or 0.4667. So that's our probability. And then I did something kind of clever here. I have D and E, and they're slightly different questions. The answer will be the same. Whether the endpoints are included or not doesn't matter, so I'm just trying to reinforce that point there. Question F asks us for the mean and standard deviation of the student ages in this distribution. The only way we can figure this out is by having these formulas from the box on our note sheet. So you would need to have a little section on your note sheet that says uniform distribution and reminds you of these two formulas. You probably want to say that as well, and maybe remind yourself of that. So we use those two formulas. Mu is equal to A plus B. So recall that A was 15, B was 45. So mu is A plus B divided by 2. Add first, get 60 divided by 2 is 30. So the average student in that distribution is 30 years old. And then the standard deviation, B minus A parentheses squared. So we do our parentheses, get 30. Exponents next. 30 squared is 900. 900 divided by 12 gives me 75. And finally, take the square root of 75. So I can walk you through this. 45 minus 15, parentheses squared, enter, divided by 12, enter. Second square root, second answer, enter, 8.66. 8.660, in fact. So sigma is our standard deviation symbol. And I was going to go check to see if I included any of these homework questions on your online homework, because I find them very confusing and not so useful. So I will let you know if those are on the online homework. And then this question here, find the 74th percentile of age. You know what, I just made an executive decision. If these are in the online homework, I'm going to remove them. So don't worry about those conditional probability questions. Oh, I think they're part of multi-part questions, so it's impossible for me to remove them. That's very frustrating to me. Maybe that means I have to include them. Yep. Well, here's the deal. If you want to learn how to do them, then you can get your full credit. And if you don't want to learn how to do them, don't worry, I'm not going to put them on the test. But those of you who need to have 100% on your homework, need to understand this. And this is all based off of this formula, the conditional probability formula that we learned in Chapter 3. The probability of A given B is equal to the probability of A and B over the probability of B. So find the probability that the age is more than 40 given that it is more than 20. This is such a ridiculous question. I don't really enjoy teaching this because who cares? Who would ever ask this question? That's why I want to remove it from the homework. Okay, so probability of more than 40 and more than 20, right? Because I'm following this, and then divided by the probability of more than 20. And then I have to go through, okay, well, the probability of more than 40 and more than 20 really is just the probability of more than 40. And the probability of more than 40, that rectangle would only be 5 units wide because it's from 40 to 45. And then you multiply by 1 over 30 because that's the height. And then for the denominator, probability of more than 20, well, more than 20 is going to be 25 units wide times 1 over 30. Then these fractions cancel out, and you end up with your answer. But honestly, these problems make me crazy, and yeah. So let's just move on to this question, which I find slightly more interesting. Find the 74th percentile of age. This is still hard, but at least it's a little bit more interesting. Find the age that has 74% of students below it. Right? That's what 74th percentile means. So I drew a picture. Still have the distribution from 15 all the way to 45. But now we're saying, what is that age where 74% of students are younger than you? So I just put a letter K there because we don't know what age that is. It's a question mark. And then I am going to say K minus 15 in parentheses times 1 over 30. So that multiplication, if I multiply length times width, I should get 0.74. And this becomes an algebraic equation to solve. So the next thing is to multiply both sides by 30. If I multiply this side by 30, that cancels out. If I multiply this side by 30, I get 22.2. 0.74 times 30. Okay. And then K minus 15 equals 22.2, so then I add 15 to both sides. Here this cancels out, and here plus 15, 37.2. So if you are 37.2 years old, then you are older than 75% of the class.